class is in session. This is the Rookie Profile Series from the Draft Seminar here, hosted by Matt Hicks, the FF Educator, joined as always by John Laub, the Gridiron Scholar. John, I am fired up to talk Khalil Shakir. This is the Rookie Profile for the wide receiver out of Boise State. Before we talk Shakir, I want to make sure folks know that they can check out this series on the Rookie Big Board YouTube channel. It's on the Rookie Big Board podcast channel, as well as the NFL Draft Bible podcast network. You can get more of John's work at footballdiehards.com, and you can get my full 2022 rookie rankings, including the Rookie Big Board, at patreon.com/the FF Educator. John, it is so important in this Rookie Profile series here that we cover the big names, the ones everybody's talking about, but then we are also really intentional on pulling names that we feel like may fly under the radar and end up being great values. And Khalil Shakir is one of those guys we wanted to make sure to highlight, despite the fact that he might not be at the top of everybody's mind when they think 2022 NFL draft.
Couldn't agree with you more, Matt. We often talk about the group of 5 wide receivers. I believe there are 3 big group of 5 wide receivers: Jalen Tolbert, Sky Moore, and Khalil Shakir. And I actually think Khalil Shakir is the one who's going under the radar in comparison to the other 2 players. But when you look at this young man, you watch the film, you plug his numbers into the production model, and you look at his career, he is very interesting prospect. Draft capital is going to mean a lot because it'll tell us what the NFL thinks of him. I like him. I think I have him ranked higher than most people. In 2020 and 2021, he was first team All Mountain West, Matt. The numbers are pretty amazing for the last 2 years. 77 catches last year, 1,117 yards, and 7 touchdowns. The year before, and it was a shortened season, 52 catches for 719 yards and 6 touchdowns. We even go back to 2019. Honorable mention All Mountain West after catching 63 passes for 872 yards and 6 touchdowns. And my friends, this Broncos passing game isn't the one of Kellen Moore and those unbelievable Boise State offenses. They're good, but this is not the offense that we've come accustomed to in the last 15 years. So his numbers are even more impressive when you put it into context. He was the COSITA Academic All-American second team the last 21 to 22. He was the Polynesian College Football Player of the Year finalist in 2020. He's a 3-time All-Mountain West academic team. Career-wise, he has 10 games over 100 yards receiving. And then when you look at the career receiving list at Boise State, he finished 5th in receptions, 4th in yards, and 6th in receiving touchdowns. I think he has a very good chance in the NFL. Matt, what does your film breakdown say of Khalil Shakir?
Yeah, John, it pops right off the tape here with his athleticism. He has really good short area quickness. He has quick, sharp footwork. He has really great body control and great balance moving around the field. He has excellent yards after catch ability here. He is slippery when running the ball with the ball in his hands. He can break defensive backs here with mean footwork. Go on, you can actually watch him against BYU, 2020 BYU tape. He breaks this defender with a mean sidestep. He ends up leading to a touchdown. Boise State had him take handoffs out of the backfield. And so he kind of has that vision and that comfortable approach to running with the ball in his hands after the catch. John, he has excellent hands. He has a good catch radius for his size. He appears to have good arm length, really sticky hands, good concentration, limited drops on tape. Now, it's important to understand how Khalil Shakir is going to win at the next level and how he is likely not going to win at the next level. He's not going to be your contested catch guy. He's not going to go up and catch those one-on-one balls. What he is going to do is absolutely shred the first 5 to 7 yards off the line of scrimmage. He's going to work you with the slant. He's going to work you with the drag. He's going to beat you with his first step. He's going to release well off the line of scrimmage. He's going to play inside, right? He's not your boundary X wide receiver, but I still think he could have excellent fantasy football upside here, especially playing in a PPR league. John, let's dig into those numbers a little bit more.
When I put him in my model way back in January, Matt, the numbers began to tell a very interesting narrative of Khalil Shakir. 208 receptions. And those aren't all short dump off screen passes. Matt, he averaged 13.8 yards per catch. And one thing that isn't always in the numbers, he's a very versatile receiver. They really did play him all over formation. Now, I do project him. I think he's an ideal slot receiver, 6'0 and 190. And I saw him take some pops. He goes to the middle of the field in this offense. And, Matt, he took some hits from safeties, and you're like, whoa. So I like that. And then you see tape. He's on the outside of the hash marks. He's running crossing patterns. I think he's versatile, and you can play him all over. But I think he's a slot and an inside receiver at the next level. Obviously, maybe injuries, he could play the Z, but I don't think he's really an X receiver at the next level. 24 touchdowns in his career. And then, Matt, we look at that catch percentage, 66%. I really like that. Team aerial dominator this year, 36%. This young man can play in the NFL. We were watching Cedric Wilson with the Dallas Cowboys this year when Michael Gallup went down. If you were watching Cedric Wilson, Dak Prescott loved him, and Cedric Wilson came out of Boise State. And I like Shakir more than I like Cedric Wilson at Boise State. It took Wilson a little bit of time. I think Shakir will be in the same type of boat. But he can do a lot of things for you on offense. I'm hoping he gets third-round draft capital, at worst fourth. That's going to tell us a lot. If I had to lay money down, he's a day 3 pick. But you never know if a team falls in love with him. But I expect day 3. Matt, what should the fantasy football world know about Khalil Shakir?
John, before I point this out, I just gotta let folks know, me and John are just always on the same page. Like we don't, do the full outline. We don't talk. We usually do not talk before we jump on each one of these episodes because it's perfect, John. Day 3 early is exactly where my projection is on Khalil Shakir. I think he's that guy that NFL teams go into, right? Day 2's over. They're going back. They're looking at their boards. They're seeing who's left. And then some team trades up early in round 4 to get Khalil Shakir because they're sitting there and they're saying, look at this steal. Look at this guy just sitting there, right? He's got that exact prototype to him. Rookie big board tier here. I have him as a bench depth option. And again, if you listen to the rookie profiles, and if you're a patron and you know the rookie big board, you're in the Discord channel, we talk about all the time, bench depth isn't bad. Bench depth is a good thing for fantasy football, right? You need those guys on your bench here to rotate into the flex spot, especially in your deeper leagues, right? You need those guys to be able to plug into your when your injuries happen or just as buys add up, right? I think for his fantasy football rookie ADP, I think he's going to fall in that late round 3 territory, even with good draft capital. It just seems like folks have other guys that they're more excited about. And John, if it happens, count me in. High exposure for Khalil Shakir here. And here's what's really great, John. When you find somebody you love that is a little bit more of a projection, right? A little bit more of a home run type bet. You can absolutely stock up on this guy because if you sit there in the early to mid 3rd round and you take Khalil Shakir, you could just have a high exposure. And then if he hits, you're going to be very happy with it. It happens more often than you think that these guys that are in the 3rd or 4th round end up hitting for you and you can really rack up high exposure to them. John, just like I hope all of our listeners are racking up high exposure to the entire draft seminar series. You're going to want to make sure that you're subscribed to be able to do that, whether you're watching or whether you're listening. As always, we appreciate you checking out.